This is CBC Here and Now.
Fourth wave, though, unfortunately has reached our shores. There are now a total of 70 confirmed cases connected to the outbreak.
The Twillingate area moves to alert level 3 after dozens more cases and community spread.
Officials say the fourth wave of COVID-19 is here.
While the weekend is here, things started cool, but there is a warm-up on the way.
You can flip through and see little thumbnails of all of the art. You can pick one and read about who made it.
Want to check out some public art? Well, there's an app for that.
Yes, a new app to help people learn more about public art.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Peter Cowan.
And I'm Carolyn Stokes. We start tonight with another jump in COVID cases.
The cluster of cases in central Newfoundland continues to grow. We now have more cases and over a bigger area. It came out at an unexpected briefing today. Let's take a look at those numbers. There are 45 new cases since the last update 2 days ago, and that's on top of 18 new presumptive cases which need to be confirmed through further testing. That brings the total number of cases in the Bayverde area outbreak to 71. But we're now seeing an outbreak in the Twillingate area. 10 cases are tied to New World Island Academy, with health officials announcing the school is closed because of the outbreak. Because of the cases in that area, Twillingate and the New World Island area are now in alert level 3. That's forced the cancellation of a large running race planned for this weekend. Well, this was the scene today in Twillingate as people lined up for testing. The arena is being used to test people who have symptoms or who have been identified as close contacts. Testing is going to continue tomorrow and Sunday as well. Well, today, Health Minister said it's no coincidence that cases are high in areas with low vaccine coverage. In Twillingate itself, 84% of people are fully vaccinated, but in the wider Notre Dame area, it's just 71%.
There are vaccination clinics available in those areas and have been for several months. It is sad that people have driven past those clinics on the way to recreational travel rather than stopping and getting vaccines. Get the shot.
We got some numbers today on just how many of the cases we're seeing are people who are vaccinated. Let's take a look. The majority of the cases are people who are unvaccinated, almost 60%. 13% of the cases are partially vaccinated, which means they only have one shot, and 30% of the cases are people who are fully vaccinated. Now, if you're thinking 30% is a lot, well, keep in mind 66% of people in the area are fully vaccinated. So almost a quarter of the eligible population there still hasn't gotten the shot, but they represent almost 60% of the cases. Officials also pointed out that amongst those vaccinated people who are getting COVID, they're by and large having much less severe symptoms. So even if the vaccine hasn't prevented them from getting the disease, it's preventing them from ending up in the hospital. They said today national statistics show that unvaccinated people are 34 times more likely to end up in hospital than those who got the vaccine.
We've now learned of 5 schools in the province that have had cases of COVID-19. As Peter said, New World Academy in Summerford has 10 cases. There are also cases linked to MSB Academy in Middle Arm on the Bayverde Peninsula, Lakewood Academy in Glenwood, McDonald Drive Elementary in St. John's, and Laval High School in Placentia earlier this month. Now, the Education Minister and head of the English School District called a late afternoon news conference today to respond to criticism. Earlier today, the opposition said parents of school children are being left in the dark and they're relying on the media to keep them in the know. Here and Now's Mark Quinn reports.
I very seldom get upset, but I'm upset today.
And here's who is upsetting the Education Minister.
Minister Osborne and Mr. Stack, they need to show some leadership on this. They need to get the information out to the public. So we're really looking for transparency and proactive disclosure. I mean, that's the least you should ask for in this environment. Right now, we don't know where things stand with our schools.
It was politically motivated, and quite frankly, it was false information. The public health and the English School District do a tremendous job of informing communities and school communities that are impacted by a potential outbreak.
Petton pointed to what happened here at McDonald Drive as an example. Earlier this week, the school district sent parents letters confirming 2 people here had tested positive for COVID-19. The public learned about it because those letters were given to the media. The English school district is defending how that information was released.
We get it out as soon as we get it, and this happens routinely. So, I think it's either, I hope it's not, hopefully it's ignorance from the opposition and not malice. That's the intent here. But I got to tell you, the hardworking people in the regional health authorities and our staff in the schools and at the district level are working round the clock on these things. So it's pretty insulting.
Both Osborne and Stack say they'll continue to release information to those who need to know it. They say what education officials don't want to do is risk releasing so much information that the individuals can be identified and face potential public shaming. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Now, one of the concerns about cases in schools is because younger students still can't get vaccinated. But Canada's top doctor says Health Canada will be evaluating the data to determine if the COVID-19 vaccine is safe for children under 12.
I think parents are mostly concerned about safety of the vaccines. So we do have to see the data from the manufacturer being submitted to Health Canada and move on accordingly.
There are no vaccines approved for the under 12 age group in Canada, but Pfizer announced positive results from its trial earlier this week. Dr. Tam says the risk of serious illness and death in children from COVID-19 is low compared with the rest of the population, but says rare incidents can become more common as the virus spreads. We've been waiting all week for the results, and less than an hour ago, the final votes came in the riding of Coast of Bay's Central Notre Dame, and here's what it showed. Conservative Clifford Small will become the next Member of Parliament for the riding, capturing 47% of the vote. It was close. The incumbent Liberal, Scott Sims, captured 46%. Just 264 votes separates the two. Small was leading in the riding on election night, but wasn't projected to be the winner until the nearly 2,000 mail-in ballots were counted. That count wrapped up today.
Well, it was much cooler today across the province, at least across the island. Temperatures only reaching somewhere between 12 to 14 degrees as you head towards central Newfoundland. A little cooler, or a little warmer rather, down towards Stephenville, 17 degrees, 16 in Port aux Basques, and then we've got those single-digit temperatures up across most of Labrador. Happy Valley Goose Bay, though, reached a high near 11 degrees. It was a little bit breezy as well. Winds topping out at about 44 kilometers per hour for St. John's. Similar in Gander at 41, and then similar in Stephenville as well. But as we head through the next couple of hours, those winds are actually going to start to die down, and we're going to combine that with some clear skies. And because of that, we've got a frost advisory in place from Green Bay, White Bay, through the interior, all the way along the northeast and including the Avalon, expecting those lows to dip between 1 to 5 degrees tonight. So we could see some patchy frost, certainly with those cooler temperatures in the low-lying areas and inland areas as well. So that's for tonight, but as we head through the weekend, those temperatures are actually going to warm up quite a bit, and I'll get into those details when I come back.
Well, with a municipal election just days away, many voters in Mount Pearl discovered unique literature on their doorstep, a flyer dressed up like an official city release that levels serious allegations against the current council. Here Now's Jeremy Eaton has the details.
During municipal election season, it's quite common to find flyers in your mailbox. They introduce you to candidates, telling you a little bit about them and what they stand for. But this particular election flyer that was delivered here in Mount Pearl earlier this week has all the names on it calling foul. Now, the candidates that are listed here say that they had nothing to do with it, and they don't know who's behind it. At first glance, you'd think the city of Mount Pearl could be behind this. Using the city's logo, the flyer reads, "Choose Change." The official-looking literature lists the names of every new candidate seeking a spot on council, adding, "Your vote matters more than ever." On the flip side, the flyer goes from light to dark, as does the tone. It levels 5 serious allegations regarding the conduct of current Mayor Dave Aker and Deputy Mayor Jim Locke. It calls out the city for spending, mismanagement, safety concerns, and disrespect. At the bottom, it reads, "Mount Pearl deserves better," and calls for residents to vote in new leadership. The only thing missing, the person who put it together and paid to have it printed and mailed out. Many of those seeking the vote on September 28th took to social media to distance themselves from the flyer.
I had no knowledge of it, and nor do I endorse it, and I find it offensive.
If you get this flyer in the mail, do what I'm going to do. Put it right in the garbage.
All the candidates have condemned it. Some call the pamphlet horrendous, others expressing disappointment. Another saying this has added more confusion for voters. But all agree this isn't what the city needs during election time. Mount Pearl declined our request for an interview, offering up a short statement instead. The city of Mount Pearl did not endorse the flyer being circulated related to the election and would not take any stance regarding any candidate standing for election, before saying it wouldn't be commenting any further. As for who may be behind this controversial piece of paper, there's a lot of speculation, but no one has owned up to it. Whether or not this resonates with residents won't be known until the election is over. Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, Mount Pearl.
Well, this year's provincial election wasn't just the longest in the province's history, it was also the most expensive. Numbers obtained by CBC News pegged that current bill at $7.6 million. That's about 60% more than the $4.8 million elections NL spent on the 2019 election and about 30% more than the 2015 election. Agency officials say postage and salaries are mostly to blame. Elections NL paid more than $3.5 million in salaries, a 37% increase over 2019. Well, to Happy Valley Goose Bay now, where police have brought in the Major Crimes Unit to continue the search for a man missing since last weekend. Residents should expect to see a heavy police presence there. 47-year-old Todd Penny has been missing since last Saturday. Ground search and rescue teams have been searching for him since Monday morning. The RCMP is also putting out a call for businesses and residents to review their surveillance or dash cam footage recorded between 6 p.m. on Saturday and 8 a.m. on Sunday. Well, a man who pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in May has requested another new lawyer, delaying the sentencing process yet again. Etienne Jacobish is accused of shooting and killing a man in Natawashish in January. Last time he appeared in court, he fired his legal aid lawyer. Well, today, his new lawyer, Mark Grushi, says Jacobish has applied for another new lawyer. Grushi says there had been an unexpected change in direction, and he was having issues getting consistent instructions from Jacobish. Grushi says he believes that application to change solicitors is being processed.
Well, ExxonMobil has been fined $40,000 for failing to monitor for marine birds while drilling for oil. The industry regulator issued a notice of violation on its website. An environmental assessment officer noticed that the infraction last summer when the company submitted a report without bird monitoring data. They say the West Aquarius drill rig didn't have a trained observer do daily monitoring for marine birds from October 2019 to May 2020. The rig was offshore drilling in the Hampton and Harp wells at the time. About 700 liters of oil was spilled at Muskrat Falls earlier this month. Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro says an oily substance later appeared to be on the water near the generating station. It sampled water from the Churchill River, but says there was no trace of petroleum. It says the spill happened on September 9th when an access cover was incorrectly unbolted during routine maintenance on generating unit number 1. Nalcor says the oil was contained to the generator's draft tube. No oil was released into the Churchill River, and Nalcor's emergency response team determined that there's no risk to the public or to the environment.
A development in the Innu lawsuit against the provincial government. The Innu Nation is suing Canada and the province over the Muskrat Falls rate mitigation deal. That $5 billion deal was announced before the federal election was called earlier this summer. The Innu Nation says it's been betrayed by that deal, that it was never consulted and took the parties to court. A judge was expected to make a ruling today, but both sides issued a statement saying they've asked a judge not to issue that ruling. Instead, they say they want more time to talk.
More dire than a sit-in, protesters with Fridays for Future staged a die-in demonstration at Memorial University in St. John's today. More than 100 people gathered at the clock tower as part of a global climate strike. Those who are comfortable lay down on the ground. The group says the gesture is meant to show solidarity with a dying Mother Earth.
Today, we are thrilled to be striking the traditions of Fridays for Future all across the world. We have been called to cause a global disruption.
So we are having a global climate strike here today and a die-in. We haven't had one in a year because of COVID. So this is our first one since last October. We've seen the effects of climate change already. We're seeing it all around the world, and the government continues to make empty promises and almost pretend like they're going to make changes, and then for years and years they haven't. So young voices really are the only voices that are able to make an impact, because we are the ones who are going to be directly affected by climate change. We're growing up into this world that is going to have drastic impacts in terms of our weather, our temperature. We see it already all over the world. Here, we've been seeing more extreme weather patterns. And if we don't stand up now, it's going to be too late.
When are we gonna wake up for our planet's sake? Let me hear ya. When are we gonna wake up before it's too late?
People often don't realize the significance of their opinion and their voice, because, you know, everyone has the idea of I'm just one person. But if everyone has the idea of I'm just one person but I can make a change, we can make a change without a doubt. Politics is so crucial and important to the younger generation, and I think that if we can all get on board, we can definitely make a big change. The die-in was something to draw attention from passersby. It makes it out that people will come to realize that it actually is a life or death situation, i.e. the die-in, and it holds a significance, the same as this protest does, but obviously it's more eye-catching.
So the more involved you are, especially the younger you are when you get involved, the easier it is to stand up, have your voice heard, have government officials actually listening to us. And the more young people that stand up, that leave school, that protest, that strike, the more government officials will start to kind of understand. And I think the more we'll see changes happening throughout the world.
A new app turns your phone into a bit of a treasure map for public art across the province.
Yes, it's called Explore Art NL, and it was launched this week by the organization Business and Arts Newfoundland and Labrador.
Let's find out how it works, and if you like, you can download the app for free. Check this out.
One of the great things about public art is that it's so accessible. You don't have to buy a pass to an art gallery. It's all around us. Hi, my name is Amy Henderson, and I'm the Executive Director of Business and Arts Newfoundland and Labrador. We are launching Explore Art NL. It's a public art app that features 101 works of art across the province. So that includes sculpture, murals, yarn bombings, things like this, located from as far north as Makivik to Corner Brook to Botwood and to St. John's, all across the province. So you can download the app and start browsing. You can flip through and see little thumbnails of all of the art. You can pick one and read about who made it, who commissioned it, where it is, how it intersects with the place in which it's placed. Or you can use the map feature So you can also take a look, hey, where am I? I need a piece of public art. Where's the closest piece of public art to me right now? Or driving by, I see a sculpture, what is that? Find where you are, find it on the map. There's so much art in this. It's amazing. I have learned so much from being involved in this project. The oldest piece of art was erected in 1901. It's the sculpture down in front of the Railway Coastal Museum for anyone who drives along Water Street in St. John's on a regular basis. That's a sculpture that was created out of a sandstone pillar from the old Anglican cathedral after it was damaged by fire in 1892. Another one that is particularly interesting to me is I didn't know there was a sculpture of the giant squid. And I have young kids, and I think that's going to be my first destination, is to take the kids out to see the giant squid sculpture. People from Newfoundland and Labrador can use the app to explore. You can take a road trip without leaving your living room using the app, and then maybe you'll also plan a road trip and develop an appreciation for the artists in our community and from elsewhere who have been put to work making these amazing creations. We also hope that tourists will find this interesting and come here with a sense of adventure and get out and explore our province. And when you're checking out the scenery, also take a second to check out the public art that brings more to the space. I also hope people will bring fresh eyes for public art as they're driving around and realize that sometimes a beautiful element of a park is actually a piece of art that was designed really thoughtfully, or notice a new mural when you drive by, when you're hanging out in the parking lot of a local business, and appreciate that that's something that was done intentionally to make our city or our province really beautiful.
A lovely evening out there tonight. It is going to cool down. There are some frost advisories in place, but as we get towards the end of the weekend, we're going to see that warmth return. I'll get into those details when I come back.
as Fat Cat or the Black Sheep, very fortunate to still have this room.
There's a community in the Black Sheep.
I remember it vividly, actually, the first day I held sticks.
I want to capture the gigs, I want to capture the facial expressions.
Creating the song that you want to hear.
That made me feel better listening to that. And maybe I could write my feelings out and see how I like that.
It's really all about the music.
Well, the weekend is here and a bit cooler today.
Yes. Yeah, much cooler today. And then there was a nip in the wind today.
It really
for sure.
was, yeah. It was nice if you were someplace that was sheltered and there wasn't a lot of wind and you can be in the sunshine, but if you're out in that wind, it was chilly.
It was. In fact, in some cases, it was 10 degrees colder. Let's take a look at that across the board. So Gander, Badger, 10 degrees cooler right now than it was 24 hours ago. Same thing for St. John's, about 8 degrees colder. And pretty much across the board, we've seen those temperatures drop through the day today. This is where the reason why is because we've got a ridge of high pressure, and then we've got that clockwise rotation, which is bringing the winds onshore for the most part. And if I zoom in a little bit, you can see most of that cloud cover focused to the southwestern portions of the island. We're losing that daylight, so that's why it's fading there. But plenty of sunshine and temperatures again in those teens through the afternoon, but they have dropped tonight, sitting around 9 degrees for St. John's, 10 in Bonavista, and then temperatures even towards the west coast. Still sitting at about 15 degrees for Stephenville right now, but into the single digits across most of Labrador. Lab City sitting at 7 degrees right now. And those temperatures are going to continue to drop as we head through the night tonight. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, frost advisory from Green Bay, White Bay, all the way through to the Avalon. If you do still have some frost-sensitive plants out there, make sure you water them and then cover them up tonight. That will help for sure, but expecting to see some patchy frost, coolest though in those low-lying and inland areas tonight. Now the reason for that is we are going to see these clear skies generally continue tonight for those areas. All along the northeast and then the Avalon. Otherwise, we're looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies tonight. Some rain will move in for Lab West as well as we get into the early morning hours. We could see that heavy at times, and that will quickly head towards central Labrador as we get into the early morning hours. And we may see some drizzle or showers down along southwestern portions of the island as well. So I've kept that in there for you. Port aux Basques, you should see a low near 12 degrees, 10 in Corner Brook. So that's where some of that warmer areas, but then much cooler air as you head towards eastern areas of the island. Northeasterly winds tonight about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. So not a whole lot to speak of. The winds will be out of the southeast, though, generally for Lab West as well as the west coast, anywhere from 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. So that rain's going to work its way across Labrador right into the afternoon hours, which again could be heavy at times. It'll reach the northern peninsula in the afternoon, early evening hours as well. And then as we get into the overnight, looks like some showers will likely develop along the west coast as well, and then get in even towards central as we get into early Sunday morning for you. So as far as that rainfall amount goes, this takes us through to Saturday morning or tomorrow morning. So you can see some pockets of 10 plus millimeters of rain, and then as it heads across Labrador, you're still looking at those pockets. Some areas could see upwards of 10 to 20 millimeters of rain. We could see that on the west coast as well, but overall, as we get into Sunday morning, a good 5 to 10 millimeters is certainly possible for areas in the northern peninsula. Tomorrow, temperatures still quite cool, only sitting around 13 degrees for St. John's. The winds will shift though. Now we're looking at southeasterlies, about 10 or 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. So plenty of sunshine. It should still feel absolutely beautiful tomorrow. Clarenville, 15 degrees. As you head towards central, a little bit warmer, 14 to 16 even down through Harbour Breton. And then as you head towards the west coast, some of those warmer temperatures, although that risk of showers will move in late day. Going to keep that chance of showers in for Port aux Basques, though, 14 degrees. Your winds will be a little bit brisk as well. Southerlies anywhere from 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. And then again, rain the story for Labrador for the most part. Temperatures in the teens. A little bit warmer as you head towards central and western Labrador with about 15 to 16 degrees, but you'll see those winds shift. Nain, unfortunately, you're still going to stay in that single-digit temperature, about 5 degrees. Now, you will see a warm-up as we head towards the end of the weekend. In fact, everybody will, but I'll get into the long-range forecast when I come back.
Harold Williams will be the first person to tell you that he's no saint. He spent a lot of time behind the walls of HMP. He says too many secrets happen there. That story coming up. Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, as has been reported in the news, at Her Majesty's Penitentiary, there's a person who took his own life. It's something that you can check out on our website. It's a very serious story. Now, Harold Williams has been here with a protest sign. They're inmates, not animals. God bless on his sign right there. Harold, why are you here?
Well, you know, I've been wanting to do a protest here for the last couple of years because different inmates committing suicide, and hearing about this young man the other day that hung himself, I just felt God telling me it's time to stand up for the ones that can't be here to speak for themselves no more. Because, you know, I was a drug dealer, and now I just like dealing hope. And there's a new wave of mental illness that I don't think anybody's equipped to deal with. And this is why, for me, I think these people that are losing their lives, because the guards specifically don't know how to deal with them when they come in off the streets. We got to find a way to deal with them and send them back to the streets with some skills where they can start working and become better citizens of society and be productive instead of being counterproductive and starting trouble.
Now, Harold, so you mentioned trouble. I mean, I guess there's a distinction between criminals who really hurt people physically and people who just steal stuff. I mean, at some point, if someone's going to hurt people, don't they belong in there?
100%. I personally, I was charged with stabbing people before, and I deserved prison for that. And at the time, I told the courts to give me what you can. We got to protect society for sure. If anybody's committing violence, you deserve to be locked up behind bars. But we got sick people that would never go to prison if they weren't addicted to these drugs. I've been 2 years here in Newfoundland, and a lot of people from the streets come to me for help. I take them to celebrate recoveries at the church. I hike with them. I talk to them. I listen to them more than anything. Most of the people just want you to listen to them. You can change them with love. I think love heals all things, endures all things, and when you show people love, because nearly every drug addict never felt love in their life, and they get their love from drugs. But there's a way to love people back to life,
When I first approached you, I kind of think, okay, this is a serious-looking guy that I don't want to mess with. I mean, how do people get beyond that when you come across, some people who look intimidating, even if they're dealing in hope, as you put it?
We got to stop stereotyping, I can understand people being intimidated by me first, but try to get to know somebody and get to know somebody as a human being, not for what they look like, because I'm a living testimony that anybody can change. I was almost deemed a dangerous offender, and now I walk for the Lord, and I'm completely drug-free. I spent 40 years in addiction, and I'm getting it all from love.
Do you ever get people kind of saying, oh yeah, well that's Harold, of course he found God, it's convenient for him now?
Yeah, it's funny actually. It's hard to please people, so I try to please myself now and know that I'm doing the next right thing. We got to find our own happiness, and we can't find it in drugs. I think we need people like myself that's been addicted, because the way I look at it, stories heal people. If I suffer with drug addiction, I think I'm chosen to help people with drug addiction.
All right, Harold, thank you for your time. I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you very much.
God bless you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
God bless.
O'Brien's farm in St. John's is hoping to increase the number of small-scale farmers by offering an incubation program that provides land and guidance to those who want to get growing. This afternoon, CBC Radio's Crosstalk took the show on the road to O'Brien's farm to find out more. Host Adam Walsh spoke with organizers and aspiring farmers.
Standing on the front lawn in front of Thimble Cottage. Thimble Cottage is a 170-year-old farmhouse. The members of the O'Brien family live there for 4 generations. And this is a little cluster, like a little farm cluster right here. There was a kitchen garden, pretty large kitchen garden that we've converted to a community garden now. So even the gardens have a historic element of it. So what we're trying to do is really bring the farm back to life and do it in a way that also we're able to kind of talk about the Irish heritage and talk about the way that this farm developed and what that meant for Freshwater Valley.
To bring this back as a learning hub, a community learning hub on sustainable farming, backyard farming, small-scale enterprise farming, by being able to have hands-on and bring in partners with the knowledge. What I'm trying to do, I think, and what we are trying to do is link a lot of knowledge in our community to people who are now increasingly interested in that whole picture of sustainable farming and small-scale farming.
What we have been building on the other kind of portion of the property here, the 10 acres, is turning some fallowed livestock fields into an incubation farm.
For people who don't know about farming, what's a fallowed livestock field?
It's more or less a grassland, right? So it's been cleared of tree stumps and all. There's at some point it was cultivated with livestock grasses, and then over time other types of grasses start to come in and things like that. So where it doesn't have the protein content, the nutrient content that you'd really want to have livestock back on it. But for what we're doing and what we see is the opportunity for people to be part of a smaller farm movement, right? And where big livestock farms certainly have their place, but for people starting out, something that is a lot less capital intensive in 2021 is smaller vegetable farms, smaller livestock opportunities and things like that. So what we've done is take those fields and turn them, doing our best to turn them into these small plots that can be part of an incubation program.
I find a lot of shortage when it comes to meat, the kind of meat that we eat back in Nigeria, like probably particularly goat meat. So I like to start a farm in that direction. And I've been trying my hands in a lot of things. I did a vegetable patch at the back of my house and asking a lot of questions. And then I found this young man the other day introduced me to Aaron. He said, "Oh, give Aaron a call. This is like he's gonna be a good match for you." And I did, and he told me, yeah, he has this beautiful incubation program here, which is like Brian was saying earlier, the cost implication, and for me, the experience. I don't have any experience on how agriculture is done here. It's totally different, and it's important to know what to do and how to go about it. And Aaron and his team have been a very good help in that direction. So that's why I decided I got to join the bandwagon. I have a lot of experience in agriculture back where I'm from, but nothing here. So that's a good start.
What was that experience back home for you?
I grew up on a farm, really, and I actually studied agricultural engineering back in Nigeria. So I have soil and water engineering particularly, and I have a lot of interest in agriculture in that regard. I had goats running up my bedroom, pretty much, like kind of thing. So I grew up around farming, plants and animals. When I came here, I discovered that most of the food is brought away from the province from somewhere else to here. And because of my background in agriculture, I asked questions, why are they not farming here? And I stumbled into this document, is it Growing Forward, something like that? And there was a push from the government to try to increase agriculture. And I figured, well, that's an opportunity. If they are willing to give us a help in that direction, then I should be interested in doing something like that.
Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou could soon be headed home after being under house arrest in Vancouver for nearly 3 years. Today, she reached a deal with U.S. authorities who had been seeking her extradition. She agreed to a deferred prosecution on fraud charges, and the U.S. said it would drop its extradition request. Meng, seen here leaving her lawyer's office today, was taken into custody in 2018 on a U.S. warrant. The company was accused of violating U.S. sanctions against Iran. Meng, the daughter of Huawei founder, fought her extradition through Canadian courts. Days after she was detained, the Chinese government arrested 2 Canadians on charges of espionage. Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig have been imprisoned there ever since. Today's court proceedings have raised the hopes that the men might soon be released.
Well, you likely won't want to hear this, but if ever there was a year to do your holiday shopping early, this is it. There will be fewer items on store shelves and online in the coming months. The CBC's Nisha Patel explains.
The global supply chain isn't something we usually talk about until it stops working. It's a fragile system, and problems that started because of the pandemic are now rippling around the world. Factories across Asia have seen shutdowns related to COVID-19. There aren't enough workers to load and unload the shipping containers, causing huge backlogs of ships stuck at ports, meaning all those toys meant for store shelves are stuck too. Industry experts say consumers will have to act fast to grab the hottest items.
As some of those items are going to sell out even faster, they're going to be replenished even slower, they're going to be harder to find.
The supply issues could last for months and aren't limited to toys. Video game consoles, books, and clothes will be less available, and shoppers may have to shell out more cash as well. Prices for consumer goods have been rising, and retailers may pass on soaring shipping costs. Big companies like Walmart and Amazon are better able to navigate these troubled waters, but smaller toy stores say these next few months are make or break for their business and urge shoppers to start early.
I would say get your kids to write their Santa Claus letters early and get them in the mail by October, and start researching, because as of October we don't know where our inventory is going to be, and that's coming from our wholesalers.
So while it may seem early to start thinking about your holiday list, it may be the key to avoiding disappointment come December. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Let's find out who's celebrating. Happy 56th anniversary to Robert and Sheila Young of Stephenville. Happy 55th wedding anniversary to Clyde and Marie Smith from Bishop's Cove, now living in Cambridge, Ontario. Best wishes going out to Edmund and Shirley Rowe of Chance Cove, Trinity Bay. It's their 58th anniversary. 60th anniversary greetings going out to Ruby and Jerry Bartlett of Corner Brook. Happy 53rd wedding anniversary to Fred and Teresa Collins of Winterland.
Congratulations to Norma and Angus Vallis of Harbour Breton on their 55th anniversary. Happy 59th wedding anniversary to Nina and Cliff Wellen of Gander. 50th anniversary greetings going out to Sadie and Calvin Wells from Mount Pearl, now living in Clarenville. Happy 50th anniversary today to Perry and Sylvia Howlett of Goulds. Albert and Lorena Oakley of St. Jacques, Fortune Bay are celebrating their 58th anniversary. Congratulations.
Anniversary greetings going out to Calvin and Hazel Hibbs of Peterview. It's their 50th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Best wishes going out to Gerald and Catherine Edwards of Tor Bay. They're celebrating 50 years of marriage. Happy 51st wedding anniversary to Kathy and Dennis Norman of Bellevue, Trinity Bay. Congratulations to Max and Diane Perry of Lumsden on their 52nd anniversary. Happy 51st anniversary to Millie and Eugene Young of Beachside.
Happy anniversary to Donald and Marcella Payne. They are celebrating 54 years of marriage. Best wishes to Rod and Edna Ackerman of Trinity Bonavista Bay, who will be celebrating their 60th anniversary tomorrow. Happy 50th anniversary to Dorothy and Bill Goff from Corner Brook, from your friends and family. Happy 60th anniversary to Ronald and Emma Collins from Indian Bay. Congratulations to Alan and Bonnie Thomas of Hants Harbour. They're now living in Winterton. It's their 53rd wedding anniversary.
Congratulations to Minnie and Robert Gullidge of Kelligrews on their 65th wedding anniversary. Anniversary greetings going out to Ross and Dwitty Green of Clarenville, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary tomorrow. Happy 67th anniversary to Bert and Ruby Elliott in Lewisport. Happy 55th wedding anniversary to Frank and Linda Ward of Gambo. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to John and Rose Scott of Torbay.
One more anniversary to tell you about. Happy 56th anniversary to Alan and Willie Loader of Summerside, Bay of Islands. Now, taking a look at some birthdays. Happy 90th birthday to Mona Harding of St. John's. Happy 95th birthday to Gertie Hicks of Musgrave Harbour, now living in Mount Pearl. Best wishes to Margaret Cooper of Old Shop, Trinity Bay. It's her 93rd birthday. Happy 90th birthday to Raymond Flynn from Lansaloo.
90th birthday greetings going out to Boyce Budgell of Triton. Happy 90th birthday to Eileen Hall in Gander. Best wishes to Nellie Bartlett of Colliers, now living in St. John. She's celebrating her 91st birthday. Happy 94th birthday to Muriel Moulton of Winterland, now living in CBS. Birthday greetings going out to Vera Frampton of St. John's, who turns 90 on Sunday.
Happy 90th birthday to Olive Marshall of Charlottetown. Happy 90th birthday to Evelyn Heffern of Salvage, now living in Glovertown. 90th birthday greetings going out to Maynard Galachon of La Tabatière, Quebec. Happy 92nd birthday to Ralph Coombs of Beta Spare. We're told he still loves his little drink of rum, although that doesn't look like a little drink. I hope he's not drinking that all today for his birthday, but cheers anyway. Happy 90th birthday to Florence Hedderson. Her family says she's the oldest lady in Carpoon.
Happy birthday to Phyllis Hicks in Bonavista. She's turning 96. Happy 92nd birthday to Dorothy Sutcliffe of St. Anthony, now living in Paradise. Happy 92nd birthday to Viola Reed in Deer Lake. Best wishes going out to Frances Pack Hollander on her 99th birthday. Happy 92nd birthday to Lillian Bannister in Corner Brook.
Birthday greetings going out to Beatrice Savory, who is celebrating her 97th birthday. Happy 94th birthday to Annie Green of Winterton. This photo shows 5 generations in her family. And we're going to end with a big one. Happy 100th birthday to Alan Freeman of Twillingate, now living in Gander. And get this, Alan's still driving his own car. Congratulations, Alan.
Well, that is impressive. Congratulations again. But as we head through the weekend, we're looking at a fairly rainy day, certainly on Saturday for parts of Labrador. Then that area of low pressure moves offshore, but we're still going to see that chance of showers, it looks like, for the west coast, and eventually that will move off. And Saturday is actually looking beautiful across most of the island. We may see some cloudy periods, but the temperatures are going to climb up. And then we watch for Monday, and that's when we're going to see some showers move right back in for most of the big land, and including the island as we head through the afternoon. Eventually we'll see some clearing as we get into the evening hours. Now, as far as those temperatures go, like I said, it's going to be beautiful. 20 degrees for your Sunday for St. John. Same thing through Grand Falls, Windsor, Corner Brook. A little cooler to the south, Marystown. You'll see a high near 18 degrees. And then keeping that rain in there for you across the northern peninsula. 14 to 18 degrees is your daytime highs. And then look what happens across Happy Valley, Goose Bay. Back up to 18 degrees. It's nearly 6-7 degrees warmer than where you should be sitting this time of year. And then as we get into Monday, rain the story, like I said, for most. Winds will ramp up as well. It'll be a little bit breezy. And then we're going to see those temperatures dip a little bit in the east, about 16 degrees for St. John's, but hover in and around the 20 degree mark for both Grand Falls, Windsor and Corner Brook. Port aux Basques should be 18 degrees for your Monday. Now, as we get through the next couple of days, like I said, Monday looking breezy, but by Tuesday and Wednesday, we're back into that mix of sun and cloud or cloudy periods through the day, and temperatures getting close to the 20 degree mark as well as we get into the middle of next week. And then as we head towards central Newfoundland, it's looking a little bit more unsettled at this point, both Tuesday and Wednesday. Not saying you're not going to see the sunshine, but we are still looking at that chance of shower. Same thing for western Newfoundland. And again, those temperatures near or just below the 20 degree mark, and overnight lows still in the teens, low teens albeit. But as far as eastern Labrador goes, your temperature's not really moving too much for the beginning of the week. They may dip a little bit as we get to the middle, but it does look unsettled. Overnight lows are starting to get chilly as well, though 3 degrees by the time we get into Wednesday, and then same thing for western Labrador. You're getting close to the 0 degree mark there. 2 degrees it looks like at this point. Wanted to share this photo. Lovely fall day at Cooley's Point. Coley's Point.
Yeah.
I knew that, said it wrong. Sandra shared that one. Thank you. If you have any weather photos, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, what a
Beautiful.
tranquil scene.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much, Sandra, for sending that in. Yeah, and that's it for us. The weekend is here. I hope you enjoy it.
Just a reminder, the province is going to do COVID numbers throughout the weekend at 2 o'clock, Saturday and Sunday. So you can check out our website, cbc.ca/NL for all the latest.
Good reminder. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.